Hi, today I'm going to cook a very unique and dish that I experimented with. Let's call it chili chicken. Now, at the moment I say chili chicken, you will think of the typical Chinese restaurant chili chicken that we used to get in India. Well, that's not what I'm referring to. This is a dish that I had in Rajasthan, made from the Rajasthani chilies called Athana chilies. You know, it's a big long chili and a lot of Indian spices. The experiment I did with the dish, because I enjoy a lot of chili. I eat a lot of chili with either lunch or dinner. What I realized that if you have chili and mustard oil, it gives a very unique flavor. So I experimented with that, but also at the same time, I want to make sure that it can be eaten by everybody, because you know you can't have chilies just like that with meal. So that's the dish I'm going to cook today. It's a very simple dish. What I did take away from the Rajasthani dish that I had, or Rajasthan is a province in India, was that I kept only two spices, turmeric and cumin powder, and then chili and chopped red onion. So that's about it. So let me take you through the ingredients. Okay, now I'm going to show the ingredients. Now I'm sorry, I said chopped onion. No, it shouldn't be chopped. It should be diced. It's sliced. All right, very thinly sliced onion. I've kept it covered with the cling wrap because then it retains the freshness. Right. I've got about 750 grams of fresh chicken, freshly cut chicken. It's not frozen or preserved. It's fresh chicken from the wet market. I've got cumin powder and of course turmeric. What I'm going to do is and I have got chili. There are about 36 chili that I'm going to use to cook this. But be careful. I'm going to show you, because if you eat all those chilies in this chicken, some of us will have to go to hospital. So I'm going to show you how to remove the hotness of the chili, but retain the flavor and use that flavor with mustard oil with the chicken, and what a wonderful dish that will turn out to be. And I've had American friends who have eaten this in my house. So yeah, I mean it's tolerable hotness. So let me first marinate the chicken. It's simple. I'm going to put some mustard oil. Again, I've retained this from the Rajasthan dish. They had used mustard oil. I'm going to use kind of a 3/4 teaspoon of cumin powder, a little bit more, and I'm going to use about a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and I'm just then going to take a spoon and just stir this. The marination time for this chicken isn't more than, from your cooking, before you cook, just marinate it 45 minutes before. That's about it. You don't have to keep it overnight. So this is done. It's been marinated with turmeric. I think I'll put a little bit more turmeric. So take it as 1 teaspoon, if you will, for about 750 grams of chicken. Yeah. So I'm going to just marinate this. So it's mustard oil, cumin powder, and turmeric. 45 minutes before you cook. Now this is marinated. Okay, I'm going to keep it aside. So I've marinated the chicken. I've kept it aside. Now let me show you how do I remove the hotness from the chili and yet retain its flavor when I cook. So I use basically there's about 36 chilies here. There's typical Thai chilies that you get in Hong Kong. You can use in India, you can use Indian chilies or whatever, but they have to be hot, right? Because that's where the fragrance comes in. So I've got about 10 red to give color and about 25 green. So let me now show you how you remove the hotness of the chili, right? So you take this chili, you slit it in half, and then you take a spoon and you scoop the seeds away from the chili, and then you put it in a bowl of cold water, right? So you remove. This is how I'm removing the chili. This is where the hotness comes in, not from the skin. The skin has the flavor, right? So I remove the seeds. It's the seeds. So I'm going to put this back in cold water. So let me show you one of the green chilies. There I slit it into half, right? Open it up and just take a spoon and just scoop the seeds like that. Please be careful to wash your hands with soap after doing this. So that's it done, and put this back into water. So I'm going to do this, I'm not going to show this, but I'm going to do this with all this chili, deseed them and put them in cold water for about 10-15 minutes before I cook. Yeah, so we'll come back to show the cooking. Hi, so let me now take you through the cooking process. The chilies have, as I mentioned earlier, have been slit in half, deseeded, kept in cold water. So the first thing I'll do is I will drain out the water and just let it be there. So that's the first thing. The onions are there. So let me get my pot to cook. I just put on my apron, which I forgot. So the fire is lit. I'm just going to use the pan, put it up there. Put a nice serving, about 3 tablespoons of mustard oil. While that's heating up, I'm just going to stir it a little bit so that it's evenly heated. I've got my onion here, a finely sliced onion. So I'm just going to let the oil heat up a little bit. And remember, there's the chicken. The first thing, once the oil is heated, I'm going to put in the sliced onion. The key thing is the chicken I will cook. The moment I put the chicken in to the time I simmer it, the total time is 20 minutes. Depends on what kind of chicken you're buying. With this fresh chickens out of Hong Kong, 20 minutes is sufficient from the time you put them onto the pan, frying it, and then simmer it. So I'll take you through the process. Now the onion is I'll have to wait. The onion has to get, brown out before I put the chicken and the chili. Alright, so I've been cooking this onion for about 10 minutes. I don't want to be online because that way, it takes a lot of time. So I just want to show the steps. So here the chicken is, the onion is becoming translucent. And here is when I'm going to put, as I put the chicken, which I will do now, I'm immediately going to switch my timer. I'm going to put my timer to 22 minutes, and I'm going to switch it on because that's the time I'm going to cook, including the simmer. So I'm going to spread out, mix the, and I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I will do the salt test later, the final salt test, but this is just flavoring it out right now. What the salt does, it helps in oozing the water from the chicken. Now I'm going to add very little water to this. I'm going to let the chicken cook in its own juice. So very little water to add. At this stage, I'm going to fry it a little bit more. I'm going to let it fry for about, I've already got my timer on. I'll keep watching, say 5 minutes, I'll fry. So it fries out, and you will see at some stage it's going to ooze the juice, the whole that marination coming out and adding to the water. And I'm going to cover it for some time so that it adds more water. It's a beautiful fragrance of the onion, the cumin powder. So I'm going to cook it for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do the chili. Well, the chicken is cooking now for 5 minutes. You can see it's already oozing water, and I'm going to do something that's going to ooze more water, which is what I'm going to cook it in. But this is the time to add the chili, the deseeded chilies. So these chilies will not make the dish hot. It will make the dish, it'll bring a very unique flavor of the chili with mild, very, very mild hotness, but it'll add a beautiful flavor to the chicken. So this is done. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm going to simmer, this is going to cook for 20 minutes only, so I'm going to remove this pot and then put my simmering plate. So I'm going to put my simmering plate there. What it does is, it spreads the heat evenly when I simmer it later. So I'm going to do this. It's on high flame, so I'm going to fry it a little bit. So I can already, but I can already smell the flavor of the chili. Now at this stage, my clock tells me, my timer tells me, we are down to 18 and a half minutes, which means 18 and a half minutes more remaining. At this stage, I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to cover this for about 5 minutes, and when I open it, you will see the next step. But I'll take you through the process, but I'm going to keep it covered for 5 minutes. Okay, this has now been covered for 5 minutes, and here is what I wanted to show you. You see the water? This is the water from the chicken, the onion, its own sauce. So I'm not going to add any water. I'm going to let it cook on its own. And remember, I've said 20 minutes for this chicken, which is 750 grams fresh chicken. Now, depending on where you're buying, what kind of chicken you're buying, you should check the time. I do it for 22 minutes. You could do and then check the chicken then, and then try maybe another 5 minutes. So at this stage, the reason I waited for 5 minutes is for that water to come out. I know exactly how much water it has. Now I'm going to do the salt test, right? So I'll add a little bit more salt, right? Again, salt to taste. So that's why I don't say put 1 tea for 750 gram, put that much or this much. I don't do all that, right? So this is done. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot water. Little bit of hot water. That's about it, not more. Half a cup. Half a cup. So that just about covers it because it has its own juice. And because I have put the water, I'm going to stir it a little bit. And I'm going to do second salt test because I have added the water. Perfect. But it's a very nice mustard oil, chili kind of flavor, and it's not hot. So this is now, my watch says 12 minutes more to go. So I'm going to cover it and medium flame and let it cook for the remaining 12 minutes. All right, the chicken has been now cooking for about 20 minutes. So my timer has just gone off, which means it's cooked. So I'm going to switch this off and let's look at the chicken, which is beautifully done up. At this stage, I'm going to basically keep the fire to very low. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of coriander, chopped coriander leaf. That's about it. Then I'm going to cover the lid back. Put it for high flame for about 10 seconds. And I'm going to switch off the fire. So that is a variation of the Rajasthani green chili chicken made in my way in 20 minutes. Now, just before dinner, heat it up without the lid because you don't want the chicken to be overcooked because it'll be fibrous. Just heat it up to the temperature you'd like it, but keep the cover off and serve to eat. So enjoy.